Hello everyone, and welcome to another installment of Fantastic Five, the show where we entertain you by counting down backwards from 5, and you entertain us in the comments. This week, we're taking a look at 5 of the worst Superman ripoffs. Superheroes are a dime a dozen, but there's only one Superman. Basically. Superman is the best, just the absolute best. So of course, everybody is going to try to bootleg his style, even DC. Everyone has tried, and tried, and tried, and tried. Some have done a better job than others, and some have started out awful and become great, but today we're looking at 5 of the worst. Number 5, Superman. Let's start with a fun one, shall we? Superman, also known as Sour Man, first appeared in a 1979 one-shot manga called Tomato Girl Detective by Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama. Imagine everything that makes Superman cool. Now take all of that away and put a weird little guy with a big mouth from a planet I'm not even gonna try and pronounce in a Superman costume and have him eat sour plums and fly around by rolling around on his belly on a skateboard. What's not to love? Clearly this is a comedic character, so we can't be too hard on him, but from being a big coward to holding babies hostage, this guy is pretty terrible at being Superman. Number 4, the Aquarian. Also known as Woondar, the Aquarian is the kind of comic character that could only have come from Marvel in the 70s. If you've ever wondered what would have happened if the Kents had just ignored that crashed spaceship and Superman had been stuck in that rocket until he was a fully grown man with the mind of a child, then Woondar's story is for you. You know this guy is going to have a rough time when he thinks the first thing he sees is his mother, but it turns out what he actually sees is Man-Thing. Fortunately, he ran into another thing, specifically the Thing. Ol' Unca Benji was able to get Mr. Fantastic to help the poor guy out. Then the Cosmic Cube turned him into a kind of new age super hippie because, why not? Number 3, Nuclear Man. Even though he was number 1 on the best Marvel Superman list, I thought about having Sentry on this list too because even though he's a lot like Superman, he's also really into ripping people in half. But then I remembered there's an even worse solar-based Superman ripoff, and his name is Nuclear Man. Solar Man would have been a better name, but the threat of nuclear warfare was very scary in the late 80s, so we'll let it slide. While it was nice to see Superman have a straight-up fight with a villain, those fights ended up being a little underwhelming, and Nuclear Man ended up being just another missed opportunity in the worst Superman movie. Or the second worst Superman movie depending on who you ask. As bad as he was though, it could have been worse. They could have left this version of Nuclear Man in the movie. Number 2, the Plutonian. This one was almost Omni-Man from Invincible, but he only went a little crazy and he saw the error of his ways pretty quickly. Not Irredeemable's Plutonian though. When he goes off the rails, he does not mess around. Omni-Man only killed most of his knockoff Justice League pals and nearly beat his son to death, but when the Plutonian went off the deep end, he killed superheroes, supervillains, friends, family, and millions of innocent strangers in terrifying and often cruel ways. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I think he's a bad character or that I don't like Irredeemable, because it's a great series. But this is one Superman ripoff who really dropped the ball on the whole being super part of being a Superman ripoff. Number 1, Ultraman. Some people would say that Bizarro is one of the worst Superman ripoffs because, let's face it, a clone is kind of the definition of a ripoff, and he's pretty terrible at being Superman. But Bizarro means well, he just gets things backwards. So let's not be too hard on the guy. No, when you want a guy who gets being Superman all wrong and means it, you've got to go with Ultraman. Pick whichever version from whichever Earth or continuity you want, and this guy is still the absolute worst at being Superman. For every bit of good and decency and nobleness that there is in Superman, there's an equal but opposite amount of badness and rudeness and jerkitude in Ultraman. He couldn't be any worse at being Superman if he tried, and as awful of a guy as he is, he probably has tried. Thankfully, there's another Ultraman out there trying to make up for how rotten this guy is. That's it for this week. Check back next week when, spoilers, I'm gonna count down from 5 to 1. Thanks for watching this episode of Fantastic Fives. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comics Alliance for more comic facts, and check out comicsalliance.com for more comic awesomeness.